Alright, I hope I don't look like a big hobo, 'cause I feel like one. I got really sweaty earlier and had to go home, take off my binder, or rather peel it off, and I was skating around after my interview. Got a headache from being so dehydrated, and now I'm just resting before I go to my support group at Growing American Youth tonight. So, one thing that I wanted to talk about, because I still don't know if I got the job yet, um, but I'm pretty sure the interview went really well. So, on the Metrolink ride out there, I was sitting there like, okay, I'm gonna tell them about transition. It's probably gonna be the worst decision of my life coming out before I know for sure whether or not I've gotten the job. And then I was thinking of all the ways that I could word it to these people so they wouldn't think I was a complete weirdo or a freak. And basically, what ended up happening is we had a discussion that had nothing to do with my life, even though the manager of the store said he was going to be asking me about my history, which he did not really do. So we ended up talking about the competition, which is the company that I just got fired from last month. And he thought it was pretty shady, all the shit that they did. And I think it's pretty shady too. I actually have a blog about it on my blog spot, which is linked on my YouTube. You have to go to the link I posted and then check out the other blogs that are attached to it. But so anyways, so I was gonna mention my transition and all this stuff, and I was like meditating on the train ride, and I was putting out positive vibes out into the world because I want them to know that I plan on legally changing my name and then starting hormones probably in August because that's when I'll get my letter from my therapist. I was going to tell him all of these different things and just hope that he took it as well as my grandmother took it, who basically ended up telling me that I'm her child no matter what, and she's going to love me unconditionally because there are no s- genders in heaven. You're only a soul. There's no male or female. You're just your spirit, which I think is totally true. And I wish that everybody was an angel and could see, everybody who walked on earth as just a spirit and not what was in between their legs. And I think that's brilliant and enlightened, and we should all strive for that perspective. But so I ended up not saying anything about my transition whatsoever, not to use male pronouns, not to call me by a certain name. I did none of this. I became a complete chicken shit at the end of the interview when I was planning on talking about all this. But I did weasel in a question about having male massage therapists in that store, and he said he had a few. So I think what I'm going to do is just wait until I'm about ready to start tea. I'll probably go through the legal name change process first, but in the state of Missouri, you can't get your gender marker changed until you've had a SRS or a gender reassignment surgery, which I don't plan on having the money for a pretty long time. I mean, that's part of the reason why I'm getting a job now is just to pay for hormones and save up for my first surgery, which I plan on getting metoidioplasty out at the Papillon Wellness Center in, I believe it's Pennsylvania. That doctor's results look really, really great. And then eventually I plan on having top surgery, probably with Dr. Fisher in Maryland or wherever she is. It's the same person that Charles Asher went to. My chest actually looks a lot like his did prior to surgery, and I hope my results will look as good as his after it's all said and done. But that's going to be a while out from now. So I'm going to work with my therapist to come up with a letter to my employer or future employer and just basically tell them about the legal and medical aspects of the transition. And even though my license will still say female, obviously I would be passing and living 100% full time as male, so my clients will obviously perceive me that way. I'll be binding full time, I'll be packing full time, I'll be using a male restroom, which actually is a gender neutral bathroom at this job, which I think is really super cool. So I didn't come out to my work or future work, and I feel like a nincompoop for it. but you know, things happen for a reason, and it will progress over time and get to a point where it needs to be. And maybe one day I'll be comfortable enough to tell them. But today it just wasn't right. And you know, I prayed about it and everything else, and it just didn't happen. So I'm gonna be patient and just wait for the right time. And for now, we're just gonna wait for the news and see and hear if I got the job. So see you guys later. Have a good night. I don't know if this is still recording, but I'm actually knowing beforehand this is gonna cut off quite a few seconds, so I'm kind of just letting it keep going and going and going so that my point gets across. And if it decides to cut off time, it will cut off the end of this video, which I'm just rambling aimlessly, pointlessly, needlessly. I should write a song. I haven't written a song in forever. I'm actually a poet. I've been writing poetry since I was 14. I'm taking a poetry writing class when I go back to community college, and I'm super excited about it. I have to enroll in all my classes, and being a full-time student, I'm supposed to go to class like 8 hours a day, but I'm gonna probably have to take it part-time because I'm still gonna be able or have to be able to work nights and weekends full-time to pay my rent and my other bills throughout while I get my degree, and working at the spa, which will be my like second source of income. So yeah, maybe I will link up some of my poetry or make a video about how to give a great massage one day. We will see. But for now, I'm all done.